Welcome back. Now let's get into the top business stories. Nigerian airline operators are currently at loggerheads with oil marketers over the rising prices of Jet A1, also known as aviation fuel. While marketers have defended the price, which is as high as 600 naira per litre, airlines have insisted that it is too expensive, accusing marketers of exploitation. As a result, airlines have threatened to down tool, forcing the state oil firm NNPC Limited to intervene by importing 2 cargoes of the product and selling at lower prices to cushion the effect of high operational cost on airlines, which has further led to an increase in airfares. Now, on his part, the National Operations Controller, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Mike Oshatuyi, listed reasons for the price hike of aviation fuel as short supply, increase in crude oil price, and high dollar exchange rates to naira at the black market. He further called on the federal government to intervene in solving the crisis currently ravaging the aviation sector. The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, has projected that by June and August 2022, the number of food insecure in Nigeria will be around 18 million people, of which 620,000 are foreseen to face CH Phase 4 emergency and 13,550 CH Phase 5, that's catastrophe. For the West Africa region, where an estimated 27.3 million people are facing acute food insecurity, the number is projected to increase to an unprecedented 38.3 million between June and August 2022 if humanitarian interventions are not scaled up. This was disclosed in the latest Crop Prospects and Food Situation Quarterly Global Report and Global Information and Early Warning System on Food and Agriculture Special Alert for West Africa Sahel released by FAO. FAO stated that the alarming high level of food insecurity is due to localized shortfalls in cereal production in 2021, worsening conflicts, high food prices, and macroeconomic challenges compounded by the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is coming as the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic is considered as a key factor that has worsened food insecurity and increased the need for humanitarian assistance in all countries. Active mobile subscriptions across the 4 GSM networks of MTN, Globacom, Airtel and 9Mobile rose to 199.5 million in March. This is the highest number of subscriptions recorded by the operators since January 2021. According to the latest industry statistics released by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, the operators added a total of 1.4 million subscriptions in March, which boosted their customer database from 198.1 million recorded in February this year. With the growth recorded by the operators, the country's teledensity, which measures the number of active telephone connections per 100 inhabitants living within an area, also rose to 104.54% from 103.79% recorded in February. According to NCC, the teledensity is calculated based on a population estimate of 190 million. With a continuous increase in mobile subscriptions across the networks since the beginning of this year, the operators are steadily regaining their lost customers after the government's policy on SIM registration caused them to lose over 20 million subscriptions between December 2020 and April 2021. The Nigeria Customs Service has stated that it will review depreciation on vehicle duty as it commences the rollout of its Vehicles Identification Number platform for the electronic valuation of vehicles today. According to the Controller Evaluation of the Service, Controller Anthony Udeze, the depreciation value of vehicles has not been done properly prior to now. He added that a lot of variables had also been considered as the Commission sets out to redeploy its VIN platform. He further stated that the platform would present a uniform duty for all stakeholders in the industry. He disclosed this during a sensitization meeting in preparation for the redeployment of the VIN platform that was held in Apapa on Thursday. He also assured stakeholders that the duty value of cars would become favorable for players in the industry as it has taken into consideration the depreciation value of imported used cars. And joining me to discuss further on the disagreement between the oil marketers and airline operators over the hike in price is Frank Omolape, iBrandTV's business anchor and reporter. Hello, Frank. Good to have you on board.
Yeah, good to be here, Perpetua. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, we're looking at the disagreement between the oil marketers and the airline operators. First, let me have your take on that disagreement.
I think there's been this disagreement has been ongoing for quite a while now. There's been discussion between the Nigerian airline operators and, of course, the marketers. Remember, sometime early this month, the National Assembly came to intervene as to how to find a way forward. And if you remember, talking about the Nigerian airline operators, already threatened, the one-time threatening that they were going to shut down operation as a result of overhead costs, given the fact that there's been a continuous rise in the increase in the price of diesel. I beg your pardon now, Jet A1, which is otherwise called aviation fuel. And that has been ongoing for quite a while now. But that intervention, I think we were hopeful that it was going to work out because they came up with the fact that within 3 months, there was an agreement to peg it at the rate of 400 naira per liter for the operators, so that will ease up their operation, especially the cost of operation. And if you remember, a ticket, just a one-way ticket, for instance, Lagos to Abuja, was pegged around 100,000 thereabout time. So we thought that intervention by the National Assembly, that the House of Representatives would have, addressed the issue in the interim, but that didn't happen. So again, we're hearing that didn't happen, and so there's been a bit of back and forth between the operators and the marketers because the agreement collapsed. And so at the moment, as I speak to you, that 400 naira agreement is not working out. So they are back to the status quo again, and the current price, as I speak to you, is around 600 naira per liter. So it's something again that has come into the fore, and there's been ongoing, loggerheads between the operators and, of course, the marketers.
All right, what exactly is responsible for this hike in price?
Well, according to the operators, some of them, the first thing is that there's a shortage in supply of the commodity. And that's because they were not importing enough due to the high cost of importation as a result of the exchange rate, which is around between 500 and 600 naira in the black market. If you remember, in the week, the naira has crashed, subsequently within the week. On Tuesday, this week, the naira dropped by 0.33%. Again, as at yesterday, the naira again dropped by 0.11%. So the value of the naira to the exchange rate has been dropping in the last 3 weeks. And so within the black market, you can only get you can only exchange for around 600. And so if you factor that into the importation, the cost of importation, of course, these operators will have to these marketers will have to factor that into how much they sell this Jet A1. And so it has been a lot of concern on the part of marketers. And because they couldn't bring enough because of the cost, that again resulted in the shortage of supply of the commodity.
All right, I remember while speaking, you mentioned Forex. What can be done to address the issue of access to Forex? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so we've been talking to Frank Omalape, and we are looking at the disagreements between the marketers and the airline operators, and we are looking at
you devalue.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, please.
Or can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Do go ahead, please. Okay, so, well, I think he was saying something about devaluation. I guess he was trying to answer the question I put to him about talking about Forex, access to Forex, and he has mentioned
and so, I beg your pardon, the dollar can float, just leave the exchange rate to float in the market by way of demand and supply. And so perhaps that, again, may address the scarcity we are seeing in the foreign exchange market. Again, the approach that the CBN is using is controlling this, this rate will be attainable to some people because, according to them, the CBN will have to find a way to bring the exchange rates to a uniformity, to have a single exchange rate. So the multiple exchange rate, again, is something that a lot of people have addressed in the past, that why not CBN address this issue once and for all, make it a single rate in the market where we have it, because in this situation where you have the exchange rate going for as high as 500 naira or 600 naira in the black market, and so the official rate will have to ensure that they ensure that they continue to get close to the black market, because if the official rate is going for as low as 408 or 420 naira, and then the black market is selling for as high as 500 naira or 600 naira. I mean, so there's no justification to leave it, and this gap is too much. So what they are saying is that you either address it by ensuring that you leave it at a single rate, or you devalue the naira, let it find its level. So that's what a lot of people have been canvassing for. We hope that the CBN perhaps will listen, but this is domestic issues. And so, and it is not peculiar to Nigeria alone, it is global issue. And we hope that in the next MPC meeting, the CBN will be able to address this square on.
All right, thank you so much. I like the fact that you've said it's not just happening in Nigeria, it's happening all over the world. Well, some analysts have also averred that the Russian crisis is also affecting the price of ATK and its availability in the market. Do you subscribe to that thought?
Well, the prices of, if you look at in the last 2-3 months now, the prices of commodity, talking about the crude oil has been going up in the international market. But then again, it is subjective. And that is because there's a ban on Russian oil. So for instance, a lot of European countries.
Okay, I guess we lost connection right there, but that's okay. I think this is a good place to anchor. Thank you so much.
From the Russian in Ozone. Can you hear me?
All right, yeah, I think this is a good place to anchor. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, I've been speaking with Franco Molape, iBrandTV's reporter and correspondent. Thank you so much.